Timo Heimovaara is here with us. Timo is Professor of Geoenvironmental Engineering at TU Delft. Since 2019, he chairs the Department of Geoscience and Engineering, the department that I also work in the Faculty of Civil Engineering and Geosciences. He joined TU Delft in 2007. After more than 10 years of experience in industry, his main research interests are focused around using natural processes as engineering tools in the subsurface in order to achieve a more sustainable society. His research interests are engineering the ecosystem services of the subsurface in urban society, sustainable landfill aftercare, reactive transport in porous media, contaminated soil management and soil remediation, and experimental and computational modeling of coupled processes. I'm pleased to have him here, so to welcome you from our department as well.
Thank you, Hadi. Welcome, everybody. Presentation is too large a word for what I'm going to show. Just 3 slides. What I would like to do is talk about transition and our role in transition as the faculty and the department. And you are all here because I think underground hydrogen storage is really an essential part, or potentially an essential part, for transition. First, about the faculty. We're the Faculty Civil Engineering and Geosciences. Around the world you would also have faculties like Civil Engineering and Environmental Sciences. I think we're not there yet, but we might be, because we're moving into, we are also making a transition, and we've just started 3 new master programs which will start in September. A revamped Applied Earth Sciences program, a revamped Civil Engineering program, and a Master in Environmental Sciences. When you look at this image, and maybe online it's nicer because it's really a complicated one, and if you look into it on a high resolution, you can zoom in and zoom in. It's like a fractal dimension. You can find a lot more detail in the graphs. But roughly you could say is we're working on natural living and built environment in the faculty, and we're scientists, so we would like to understand, intervene and improve, because we're engineers. And when you look at that, water and earth sciences, I think I've got the image here. Water and earth system and natural resources on the one side, and we as a department, Geoscience and Engineering, we're really on the earth system side, you could say. And then you have the structures, the infrastructure and the material side. Those are our colleagues in the faculty. We're about 7 departments in the faculty. Hadi said there were about 500 PhDs. Then I'm very proud to say 130 of those PhDs are within our department. So we're one of the biggest departments in the faculty. I think we're oscillating around the 300 range of people who are involved with our department. I think there are about 250 who have a desk here, who are on a regular basis, and then we have some associated guests which oscillate around the 300 mark. A big department, complex department. A department that had its roots in petroleum engineering and mining. And petroleum engineering and mining are currently frowned upon, especially in our university. There were some students who actually said, why are we still researching this field? And a couple of years ago, we felt obliged to take on that issue and see, okay, how can we address that challenge? And I think transition is the word. Transition into, and let's see if my slide well, I'll wait for that. I'll come back to that. The transition means that we need to take on the future and move towards it. A couple of years ago, we had a workshop internally, and I was talking to some of my colleagues, and a lot of people said, the question was, should we lead industry into the future, or should we follow industry into the future? And the interesting answer was, number of these people say, we're too small to lead. Why can't we lead? Who are we to lead the industry? And the youngsters in the staff, people like Hadi, for instance, they said, well, of course we need to lead. We need to be more proactive. We need to take on new challenges and come up with fresh ideas and move that forward. And I'm happy to say that this workshop is exactly what we mean that we would like to lead. Nobody knows if there will be a future for hydrogen carbons. We all hope so, but right now there's no jobs. There's no jobs in geothermal energy in the Netherlands. We are working on a geothermal double on campus. Maybe there are 1 or 2 companies that really are hiring in people. So when we tell our students, come, study this, work on this topic, but the future, don't expect to be hired in a function where we're studying this transition part. You'll have to wait for that. The nice thing about it, and the frustrating thing about it, is that 2030 is where all our governments are setting these deadlines. We want to be carbon neutral in 2030. We want to be carbon negative in 2050. I don't see the urgency in the activities they are undertaking in society right now. The Netherlands would like to have 400 geothermal doubles installed by 2030. Maybe there are now 10. We're installing one, and if you see how slow it all goes, it's terribly frustrating. So that's why these gatherings together are essential. I mean, we need to think about the future, we need to be creative, we need to start new things, and then build up technology, show that it can work, and actually not wait for the business model, because I think business models will always be negative in the short term, but in the end, I think they're essential. So we need to take a risk. Okay, our department has 5 sections and a laboratory, and we try to link, let's say, societal themes to research disciplines. A couple of years ago, we were all our own, let's say, research groups in a silo, more or less. So the sections were really more or less closed. But in order to tackle these big challenges, we started thinking about integrating across the department, coming up with themes. Hydrogen storage, underground storage is one of the themes that we've been pushing on, and Hadi, we asked Hadi to lead it, and now you can see Hadi's been very, very active and pushed forward, and I must say I'm impressed to see a room filled with 60 people from abroad, but then hearing that there are about 300 people online, amazing, my compliments. What you can see is that we have a nice laboratory, so if you have time, maybe it would be nice to see if somebody would like to show you around. I'm quite proud of it. We've been lucky enough to invest quite heavily in the laboratory the past couple of years, and we're going to still invest, so there's a lot of things going on. The themes we're working on are related to the energy transition, you could say. So underground storage is definitely one. Geothermal energy is the other one. And we're collaborating with other departments, other faculties in the university to work on, like say, offshore wind and there. I said that we're an earth science department, but what I'd like to say is that we also have a very strong civil engineering profile. We have a group, geotechnical engineering, and soils are essential for everything in civil engineering. And we are the research group that take on the soil properties, the soil mechanics, the underground structures, the way, well, how do you call it, the soil structure interaction type of research. The nice thing about it is that we tend to be rather organized based on our how do you call it, the societal domain where our students tend to graduate, and then we tend to focus on that. And then people say, okay, we need a civil engineer in our group that's working on mine waste tailings. We are saying no, let's try and keep the people in their disciplinary groups, but then set up themes so that people can work together across those themes. And that's challenging because collaboration is always difficult. And especially if it's multicultural, multidisciplinary, international, whatever. And I think we're doing a good job in that. Transitioning is really something that we have been thinking about heavily the past couple of years. If you go to our website, you will find something about rethinking the subsurface. We're proud of our heritage. We're extremely proud to come from a background in mining engineering and petroleum engineering. We think that taking that heritage with us is essential if we want to tackle these transition problems to the future. We have decided that we don't want to work on issues that maintain the status quo in the oil and gas industry. We would like to move forward. So we've taken the step to lead, and we've taken some bold steps. Maybe some people can say you're totally crazy because it'll never work, but I think that's our role as scientists. People have a belief, people have an ambition, and we want to give them the space that they can work on it. And It's a risky business, but luckily enough for scientists, we've been lucky enough to get quite a lot of funding, and we're able to fund our ambitions for the time being. And I hope that this workshop will demonstrate where we stand, how we could bring the whole community together, and maybe next year we will have an even broader workshop. Thank you, Hadi.